Today, the 8th of September 2023, marks 1 year since the passing of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. On this day, a year ago, the 70-year Platinum Jubilee came to an end, the end of the second Elizabethan era. Just 2 days previously, she had invited Liz Truss to become her 15th Prime Minister at Balmoral Castle. Within her 70-year reign, she saw 15 Prime Ministers, starting in 1952 with Winston Churchill. And from Winston Churchill, she had Anthony Eden, Harold Macmillan, Alec Douglas Hume, Harold Wilson, Ted Heath, Jim Callaghan, Margaret Thatcher, John Major, Tony Blair, Gordon Brown, David Cameron, Theresa May, him and her. I remember this day a year ago so vividly, almost like it was yesterday, and this year has gone so quickly. I woke up and it was about 1:45 in the afternoon, don't ask why, and I looked on my phone and there was a BBC News alert and it said doctors are concerned for Her Majesty's health and she remains comfortable and at Balmoral, and I immediately thought something's not right here. And Buckingham Palace was always very reluctant to say anything which would cause concern, but publishing so publicly that they were concerned for her health was an indication of what the day would bring. About 3:30, I went live on my YouTube channel, which is what I do with major news events. I did it for Notre Dame and I've done it for the Queen, and I knew that something was wrong because the BBC suspended all of its programming, and I got 17,000 people watching the stream live. At about 4:30, 5 o'clock, I went down to the church and I got this really weird desire to go down to the church, and I did, and I wandered down there and wandered into the churchyard and went to Harold Macmillan's grave, and Macmillan was Her Majesty's third Prime Minister. And I looked at his grave and I said out loud, and I was in the middle of a churchyard, no one else was there, and I just looked at the grave and went, she's gone. And I just had this really weird gut feeling that, that's not my gut, that she had gone. And I went into the church and I lit a candle, and as I lit the candle I just looked at the flame for a few minutes. I just couldn't, my whole brain was kind of turning to mush, and I knew that something was wrong. And I wandered down the aisle back to the door, and as I was walking down the aisle the clock struck 5 o'clock. And I remember it vividly because I turned left and went out the door, and as I went out the door this huge, really vivid rainbow right over the path. And I just went, and that to me was confirmation that she had gone, but of course the news hadn't broken. Then I went home and I went on my computer to check the stream was going, and it got to about 6 o'clock and I went down to watch the news, and I went to make some toast and peanut butter. And as I was putting the peanut butter on the bread, I looked down the hallway, and as I looked down the kitchen into the dining room and into the living room, the TV's at the end, and I could see on the TV the flag over Buckingham Palace, and the flag was at half-mast, and I dropped my knife, ran straight down the house and unmuted the TV, and Hugh Edwards came on and said, Buckingham Palace has just announced that Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II has died. She was 96 years, and I remember everything he said vividly, and it went through a scroll of pictures, and then it faded to black and the national anthem played, and as it was doing that I put on my coat and I got back onto the bike and drove back down to the church, and the church was locked, and I went round to the key holder and said, can I have the key? I'm going to go and toll the bell for the Queen. And she said, oh yes, for the Queen being unwell. And I went, well, she's died. And the key holder just looked at me and just started crying. And I thought, this is going to be difficult. The next few days is going to be difficult. Then I went and tolled the bell, and as I came out people were walking up to the church and they said thank you for doing that, and I dropped the key back and I went home. And then the next few days is really when it became clear that what we were ringing for was a very historic event. What you're about to see, the videos I recorded, don't think I didn't record them. Just because I didn't upload them, I still recorded it. You're going to see the videos I took in the days following Her Majesty the Queen's death, ringing fully muffled and half muffled, and ringing for the proclamation as we remember the life of Queen Elizabeth II and look back on the year of the accession, proclamation and coronation of King Charles III. I am going to end with my latest piece of education, Latin, Vivat Rex, God save the King.
Yeah.
It was within the octave of 12 o'clock.
Within the hour.
Within a minute. Just. Like nearly.
Trebles going, trebles gone.
Go. Grandsire Triples. Oh!